Hey, everybody, it's JJ Conway, and I'm here with a live bonus session from our Building Wealth Together conference. I want you to do me a favor. We've had so many technical issues. I want you to drive me some hearts, some likes, some comments about the conference. If you can see this stream and hear me just fine, I want to make sure you can see me and hear me just fine before I introduce my guest. And what I'm going to do is before I introduce my guest, again, please give me some likes, some love, some comments, some something, so I know that you can hear me and you can see both me and our guest today, Dr. Jonas. So today we have a wonderful guest, but before I introduce him, I want to just say to everybody out there, all right, thank you, Dee. I appreciate that. Happy Friday to you too. What I want to do is I just want to appreciate everybody who participated in our Building Wealth Together conference. YouTube shut me down, and YouTube is my biggest audience, right? I got 3,000 people on YouTube. So I was counting on those views. So we're going to re-wicker it. I think it's because of the platforms that I use doing streaming things on AirMeet. So just so you know, the conference will be broadcast one more time. We're gonna do a conference blitz, y'all, and we're going to give these speakers their opportunity to shine even more. The conference was so powerful. If you have not already gotten your copy of the MP3s and MP4s of this conference, you need to go right now out to jjclink.com/VIP and get you this conference. In fact, I'm going to put that, wrong one. I'm going to put this conference up here real quick, and then we're going to introduce our special guest today, VIP. I'm telling you, I even editing it to make the MP3s that you can download to your phone so you don't have to sit on a computer screen. I don't know about you, but maybe it's because I'm older. Like, I never want to be that old person that says, I'm old, so just give me an excuse for not being current because I'm old. Like, I'm old. That's not a free pass, right? But really, I don't like sitting on front of the computer screen all day long. My eyes are bad enough as it is. I'm not trying to make them worse. and so I, for my stuff, I like to create the MP3s of the content. And so when you register and you get the VIP, you're not only going to get access to the streaming videos, but you're going to get the MP3s. And I like that because then I can take it on the road. I can listen while I'm doing my walking. I can do it while I'm picking up my son. I can do it while I'm watching my big boy practice and play football. I can be looking right at him during his football practice, but inside I'm getting some personal growth. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. And y'all know I love the win-win. So if you haven't already, I want to encourage you. And it looks like people can hear and see me well enough. We're going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker today. I have with you, introduce to some and present to others, Dr. Jonas Gadson, DTM, which stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. He is known as Mr. Enthusiastic, and his motto is, I love this, since greatness is possible, excellence is not enough. Go for greatness.
Yes.
He's a personality, best-selling author, and expert communication coach. Welcome to Building Wealth Together, Dr. Jonas Gadson.
Yes, it's great. It's great to be with you, JJ. As I always say, there are three kinds of people: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those who wondered what happened. I can tell you that I know that JJ and I and you are too, that's listening. You are an individual that make things happen. And we have a positive, powerful, and purposeful message for you today on this fateful, fabulous Friday.
All right. I can't wait to have this discussion. This is going to be such a powerful conversation because we're talking about really how to monetize our message and communicate. And so you can have the best. Wait, let me not talk about you. Let me talk about me. There are times where I had amazing ideas. You know how I know they were amazing ideas? Because somebody else took those ideas and they made lots of money off of them. You can have the most amazing idea in the world, but if you cannot communicate that to your client, it doesn't matter. So let me ask you this, Dr. Jonas. What are the 4 principles that all of your positive messages are based on?
Well, the 4 principles, JJ, is number 1 is education. That comes from the Latin word, means to lead and draw out. So education is very, very important, so you can learn. And what I've learned too in education, there are some things that I learned that I shouldn't have learned. So I had to cancel that and relearn. And so, and again, even those of us who are believers, we know that Paul said that in Romans chapter 10, verse 17, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. That's another way to say education. You're going to have to learn. And one of my bonuses, I say a lot, we are being bombarded with information, but we are starving for knowledge. The Bible also said, my people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge. So that education is very important. And those of you who are believing in the scriptures, I do too. Jesus said in Matthew chapter 11, come unto me, all ye that are labor and are heavy labor, and learn of me. For I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your soul. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And here's your bonus from Jonas. You got to get wrapped up, tangled up, tied up in the university of Jesus. So education is very, very important. In fact, I'm writing a brand new book now. When I wrote the first book, How to Fly Like an Eagle with Wings Like a Wimp, that teaches you to take a chance, take charge, and take control of your life. In the first book, I was focusing on lifelong learning. But what I found out about lifelong learning, there's a lot of good points in there. But what I found out, when you're a lifelong learner, you're learning a whole lot of things that's never going to be useful to you. So in my new book, I'm emphasizing being a laser learner. That means that you know exactly what you want before you go into it. And when you go into it, you're going to come out of what you went into, because a laser will even burn through steel if it stay focused. Bonus from Jonas, because whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. So you're going to have to stay focused. And that's the first one. That's the thing, education. And that can go even deeper. But then after education, you need inspiration. And if there ever been a time that we need inspiration, that we need hope with the things that are going on in our world right now, I emphasize the 4 H's. We all have hurts, habits, and hang-ups. I stopped by there today to give you H number 4, the healing power. And that healing power comes from a doctor that never lost a case. And his record is impeccable. And who wouldn't serve a God like that? He's a mighty great God. So you want to be able to have that hope. Don't give up. You don't need dope. You need hope. You don't need crack. You need Christ. You don't need the blood of Mary. You need the blood of Jesus Christ. You don't need Johnny Walker Red. You need Jesus Christ. You don't need Jack Daniel. You need Jesus Christ. Because he said, if I be lifted up from the earth, I will draw all men unto me. I double dare you today to lift him up. So it's very, very important. Now, in order to get that hope, to get that inspiration, you have to do like Paul said in Romans chapter 12, to be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You need a checkup from the neck up. Bonus from Jonas. You got to move away from change to transformation, because I don't care how many legs a caterpillar has. I don't care how fast he can run. He can never fly until he's transformed into a butterfly. And that's why Isaiah said, mount up with wings like an eagle. So that inspiration is so powerful. But let me say this also about Romans chapter 12. The Philip translation said, don't let the world squeeze you into its mold. So we want to be like, I think it was Jeremiah said, that God, you are the potter and I am the clay, and he will mold you and shape you into a vessel that will glorify. I've been following him. I'm one of his for 48 years, and I don't feel no way tired. So yes, you need the education, then you need the inspiration, and then here it goes, you need transformation. I said it earlier, move away from change to transformation. That's a metamorphosis, because change is temporary. But transformation is permanent, because the life I used to live 48 years ago, I don't live that way no more. And sometimes I have some people walking around, even religious, and I am the man. Well, I'm 100% a man. I'm 100% a man, but I'm not the man. I know the man, though. I know the man from Galilee, and he can make you free. He can give you that new life. And I know sometimes we're going some really tough time. Bonus from Jonas. Don't focus on what you have lost. Focus on what you have left, because what you have left is enough to get the job done. Because this is the first day of the rest of your life. Yesterday's a cancer check. Tomorrow is a promissory note. But today you have cash in your hand. Live full and die empty. This is the decade for the doers. Get it done in 2021. Now, some of us, we didn't do too good than the first quarter, nor the second quarter, nor the third quarter, but the fourth quarter. This is the first day of the rest of your life. And I like what the scripture said, his grace and mercy is new every morning. And is there anything too hard for God? And the answer is no. But let me tell you this though, but in order for you to be transformed, you got to be properly informed. You cannot be taught wrong and live right. So you want to live your dreams, your goals, and your aspirations, because you are pregnant with possibility. Don't abort the baby, birth the baby. Ooh, I think I said something. I think that's a bonus from Jonas. I said, you are pregnant with possibility. And this kind of pregnancy I'm talking about, both men and women, both in that. You are pregnant with possibility. Don't abort the baby, birth the baby, because you were born with a purpose and also with a gift inside of you. Now, the Creator thought for sure we would open up the gift because he placed it within. And if you develop your gift within, you'll never do without. But some of us never open up our gift. You don't have to wait for the 25th of December. You had the gift in all. See, sometimes you feel something going on your stomach. And listen, now I always say this. Bonus from Jonas. Most people, not none of you, but most people in America, they don't have ulcers because what's eating them, what they eat. They're having ulcers because what's eating them. Unresolved issue. Let me repeat that. I said most people in America don't have ulcers because what they're eating. They have ulcers because what's eating them. Unresolved issues. Learning to forgive. Learning to forgive yourself. Forgive others that did you wrong. This too will pass. I don't know what you're going through, but you are going through. Somebody said, Brother Minister Gadson, Dr. Gadson, I don't know. I've lost my job. I'm going through sickness. I'm going through depression. I'm going through, and then when they say all of that, JJ, I when I was younger, I used to say, oh, everything gonna be all right. Everything God is gonna take. I don't do that anymore. You can't help nobody like that. So when they say I'm going through, I got a lot of headaches and I've lost my job and I'm almost losing my mind up in here. Here's what I say. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. He said, what? Did you hear what I said? Yeah, I heard what you said. But you said the optimal word. You said you're going through. You didn't say you stuck. You're going through. Well, I'm going through hell. If you're going through hell, don't stay there. Keep on going. Get on out of there. Come on, somebody. So I'm talking about education. This is the foundation in everything that I teach. Education. Then we have inspiration. Then we have transformation. And here's the fourth pillar, motivation. In that order. Come on, somebody. If someone is going in the wrong direction, they don't need more motivation. They need education to turn around. Some people say, I'm on the wrong road, but I'm making good time. You're going to have to back up. Come on, somebody. And motivation. It's time to get up and get going. To live your dreams, to live your goals, and to live your aspiration. You know what I tell people all the time too, JJ? When I'm traveling and talking to people, I know most people are going to tell you no 7 times, but now the new statistics say they're going to say no at least 12 times before they say yes. So I don't even travel. With the W. I just travel with the N and the O. And when they tell me no, I just add the W and do it now. What time it is? Now o'clock. Now is the time to write that book. Now is the time to open that business. Now is the time to forgive somebody who did you wrong. Now is the time to work on your communication skill. Now is the time to be a better wife and be able to articulate your thoughts. Now is the time that you can be able to talk to your husband and talk to your wife better. Now is the time that you can be able to talk to your children more effectively. And the only time you should look down on another human being is when you're looking down to let him lift that person up. Because and sometimes I tell people as a Christian, sometimes people say, well, you are a Christian, you think you are better than anybody else. No, let me share the record. We are not better than nobody else. We better off because of Christ. I think I said something. I said we better off because of that. But that's the four principle. And when I say principle, that's non-negotiable. And see, you got to do the right thing in the right way, in the right order. See, some of you are doing the right thing, but in the wrong order. You got to do the right thing in the right way, in the right order, if you're going to get the results that you say you want. And so that's why I want to share those points, or that's the pillar of all of my speeches. All of those 4 going to be there in a message to inspire people. In fact, I'm speaking at a women conference tomorrow. I'm the closing only guy on the program tomorrow at 2:45. And I'm going to share. And my title for tomorrow is Say Yes to Your Business Success. But in order for you to say yes to your business success, you're going to have to first say yes to yourself. You got to be willing to work harder on yourself than you are willing to work on the job. I've spent over $100,000 investment in my personal and professional development. And what I found out, I know none of you would do this, but what I found out that most people, they spend more on what they put on and don't put enough what they put in. Ooh, I think I said something. I know that's a bonus from Jonas. Oh, they got all the name brand clothes on their body, but their head is an African proverb. Said if there's no enemy within, the enemy without will do you no wrong. Bonus from Jonas. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, get you a coach. JJ.
Ooh, I'm like, man, we need to take up the plate right here. And oops. And so in my church, today's a fasting day. So I'm like, ooh, I'm just taking it all in. But I think about, when I think about your 4 pillars, especially the parts that we often leave off, which is the inspiration, the motivation, transformation, and our communications. I wasn't trying to rhyme there, but I realize, this is the same thought process that really needs to go through with our family, right?
Yes. Yes.
Miss Jackie, we need to get that Cash App going. Look, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Hold on. I'm gonna do this because I'm really trying to sell my stuff. Look, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm trying to sell my stuff today. And Dr. Jonas with the bonus is trying to help me sell my stuff. But let me tell you what we gonna do. Here's what we're going to do. If you want to drop Dr. Jonas a bonus, you send that. Let me put it up here. I'm going to type it in here. You send that to me here. Give Dr. Jonas a bonus. And you send that to me, and you can use Queen of Cash Flow, and I will make sure that gets to him. All right, because he is delivering the value. He is delivering the spiritual value and the physical value. And all the versions of the Bible that I know of that say that when somebody blesses you, you should bless them. Okay, yes. So bless him, and then come back and get my class. But bless him. But even today, okay, so I was freaking out because I didn't have enough signups for my Global Youth Initiative this weekend. With my conference being this week, I had really let it slip my mind. I didn't advertise it like I should have. I got 3 kids signed up, and I'm going to deliver value to those 3 kids. But you know how teenagers are. They want to be in a group, and they want to be able to feel safe to talk. And so I need a couple more kids. So I went through my phone. and I went through my phone and I put okay, I got it right there. There we go. I went through my phone, and everybody with a 254 area code from my new town that I live in, I sent, whether they were a teenager, a parent, somebody I did business with, I didn't care. If you were 254 number in my phone today, you got a message about Global Youth Initiative that said either bring your kids or pass it along, right?
Yes.
My son comes up and says, Mom, why did you send everybody Global Youth Initiative? And I'm like, well, I'm sorry, honey, but I only had 2 people signed up. I need more people. And he said, but you send it to so-and-so who he used to go out with. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Mom, I totally put it there. Mom, fail. And then I thought about it. I said, okay, how am I going to motivate him? Because he's going to be mad all day long because mom done sent this out to everybody, including this girl, right? I said, oh, I got it. I'm going to motivate him. And so I said, by the way, when you get home today, I've got a Mountain Dew Zero in the fridge for you, which we try to be healthy, so I don't let him have a whole lot of sodas. But I knew that would put a smile on his face. And then I forget what else I said, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna motivate him to go.
Yes.
But we don't ever think about it. So when I'm thinking about this through what you said, kind of walk us through, why is it so important? Like, I can just see for myself, it's important for me to do that for my son because I don't want him to be heavy laden down and be burdened. But can you talk a little bit more about why this is so important to carry these principles into our communication with our family?
Yes, because again, for those of us who are believers, the family is so critical to the Creator. And so go the family, so go the home, so go the church, so go the community, and so goes the country. So being able to communicate more effectively with your family, to let them know that you appreciate them, that you love them, and give them their flowers while they are living and while they can smell it and while they can benefit from it. Now, allow me, JJ, just to deviate just for a moment. One of my audience that I speak, I have about several thousand children, because that's one of the audience that I love. Our young people, they make up 25% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. So when they call me into the schools and colleges, and I've spoken to them all over the country, and several times when they call me into the schools and colleges, they give me the toughest class that they have. And they said, you're not going to be able, they don't tell me it's the toughest class, but when I finish with them, I mesmerize them because I share with them and I can relate to them because I take them back on what kind of teenager I was and what did I do to get to the point that I am. And you got to be real. You got to be real and authentic with the young people. You cannot talk right and walk left. You have to be an example of and that communication is so critical. And a lot of and I say this to the young people too, and this is something good for the adults to remember. When you walk down, and I'm talking to the men, the boys right now, when you walk down the street with your pants hang down, the world look at you as a suspect. But you clean yourself up, pull your pants up, put your tie on, now they look at you as a prospect. Now, which one do you want to be? But this communication helps everybody. Of course, you probably already know this, JJ, knowing that you have a wealth of knowledge. But there are 3 major things in a marriage, in a family, that breaks marriage up. And communication, the lack of effective communication, can scar you up. Now, I grew up, and some of you will be able to relate to this. I grew up the old school, and we used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never harm me. That's not what the scripture said. Job said, why you continue to wax my soul and break me into pieces with your words. The scripture also say life and death is in your tongue. So what are you speaking to your children? What are you speaking to your wife? What are you speaking to your husband? What are you speaking to your neighbor? And then let me ask you another very important question. What are you speaking towards yourself? What are your opinion? Let me tell you something. Since we just had an election, let me have a quick election. God have voted for you. You got one for you, and the devil have voted against you. You got God voted for you. The devil voted against you. You have the solid ballot. Why not believe in the God that believes in you? Because he said in Psalms 119, verse number 14, that you are fearful and wonderfully made by God. He said, that's what he said about you. And he ought to know. He's the architect. He's the designer. He's the creator. Okay, so, and let me just tell you this. A question recently was asked by one of the billionaires in America, Warren Buffett. They asked him a profound question that in the 21st century and beyond, what is the number one thing that you're going to need? Now, the people who asked that was looking for him to talk about stocks and bonds. Here's what he said. The number one thing that's going to help everybody in the 21st century and beyond is effective communication. Number one. Number two, he said, personal development. Working hard on yourself than you work on your job. So that's critical. And so everybody need that. All right. So, but that's one of the three. I'm not going to go on the other two unless JJ want me to. But that's one of the three that separates people. And you know what else I've learned is that because you don't know to express yourself, right now the opportunity is vast. It's open. And let me tell you something else I've learned. Social media have levelized the field of growth. Okay. And just because, a bonus from Jonas, just because you use tech, you don't have to lose touch. All right. Now, some people who are in business, some people, and I'll say this tomorrow, some of you that's in business, you thinking it's going to go back the way it used to be. Ain't going to never go back. I didn't know anything about social media in 2020. I'm a great speaker and everything, but I didn't know nothing about social media. I didn't know nothing about computer. If it didn't say off and on, I was in trouble, but I have learned. And since that time, I've written 5 top selling books on my laptop in my house without going out. So we have to learn different things. Come on, somebody. All right. So I just wanted to share that. Okay, let me go back to JJ.
Ooh-wee. Well, this is important. When you say that Warren Buffett talked about communication and also about personal growth, I think they feed each other.
It does. Yes.
Our ability to communicate and our ability to really kind of communicate what's on our heart and mind, yes. So like even when we talk about abundance, sometimes we use, everybody's familiar with health, wealth, spiritual growth, relationships, but sometimes some people that I talk with add in self-expression and being able to have abundant self-expression. Well, it requires that we understand who we are, and it requires that we understand ourselves. You made the comment earlier that a lot of times it's not the external things, it's the internal things that are eating us that's causing us to be held back. And so when we think about that, all of these things are tied together. And so with communication, let me ask you this, just to see what your thoughts are. Why is communication so important in our personal and professional development?
Well, communication, effective communication is the only thing that stands between you and what you want in life. You have to be able to communicate more effectively. But now, let me just say this. I also teaches, first, you got to know yourself. You got to know yourself. Then you got to know your subject, talking about what you're talking about. And then you need to know your specific audience. See, there's some people don't know themselves. They haven't worked on themselves. They don't know what their gifts are. They don't know what their purpose are. And the worst thing that you can have, if the person who called themselves a leader with nobody is following them, they're just on a walk by themselves. Communication helps you to get that raise. That you communicate, get you the opportunity to be able to express yourself to the board member. That communication help you to express the word, the good news of the gospel to other people. So there's so many benefits. Effective communication to be able to resolve issues and a lot of things that people are bickering about and fighting about, when they could just sit down and listen to one another so we can get to understand one another. And by the way, let me just say this too, JJ. Someone said to me many times, well, Dr. Gadson, I have the gift of gab. And so they just talk all the time. No subject, no verbs, nothing, no story, no nothing. Listen at this. Here's what the Creator did. In his infinite wisdom, he gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. That means that we should listen twice as much as we talk. So that's very good. And then when you listen for 2 reasons. Listen for sympathy and empathy. So put yourself in somebody else's shoes. And be a good listener. And let me tell you, the ratio as a professional speaker is 60% listening and 40% talking. Ooh. And let me tell you something else as I'm on this limb. I just said, well, pick the fruit. Let me tell you something. Some people combine mentor and coach. Mentor and coach is 2 different persons and 2 different responsibilities. Right. A mentor is going to tell you and guide you and teach you what to do. A coach is going to do more listening and find out what it is that you're going, what direction you're going, and he will create a vehicle to get you to your destination. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you have to listen very, very careful to what people are saying and also what they're not saying. And while I'm on this limb, I just said, well, pick the fruit here too. There are 3 kinds of communicator. That you got a communicator that's an oral communicator. Mm-hmm. He speaks a lot effectively by talking. Then you have a person that's a visual learner. Mm-hmm. They want to see it before they believe it. Mm-hmm. If you married and your wife is a visual learner, she need to know you love her, but she's going to say, what have you done for me lately? You're going to have to bring the roses. You're going to have to take her out to dinner. And see, some people are having trouble in a relationship because one is a visual learner and the other one is an auditory learner, and they never sat down to talk the different. Mm-hmm. And then there's another type of learner. It's called a kinesthetic learner. That person learns better by feelings. And if you're going to communicate effectively with a person that go by the feeling, you have to pause and say, well, the way I feel about what you said, you got to lower your voice because that session is built on feeling. And you have all of these people in the same audience. So you're going to have to be an effective speaker enough that I call bonus from Jonas, swing the bucket down low, that everybody can get a drink. Now, let me tell you something. Because I'm a country boy, some of you might be listening and you might have heard this before. Let me just straighten this out for you. People say, well, you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make the horse drink. That's not true. Don't repeat that no more. All you got to do is add enough salt on the horse ox, and he'll find some water. See, my job as a speaker is, JJ, our job as a speaker is to create the thirst. And when we create the thirst, they'll find some water. And that's what Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew chapter 5, around about verse 5 and 6. He said, if you're hungry and thirst after righteousness, you shall be. Are you hungry enough for spirituality? Are you hungry enough for your dream? Are you hungry enough to be a better person, a better wife, a better husband, a better son, a better... If you're hungry enough, God said, come on, I'll fill you up. And your cup will be runneth over. That's why I'm so fired up. I like what David said. David said, yea, though I walk to the valley of shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, because thou art with me. Thy rod thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Now, I said all of that because David said his cup was running over. And God have been so great to me and been so great to you that my cup is running over. Excuse me a minute, JJ. I gotta drink out of my saucer because my cup runneth over. And by the way, it wasn't as dark as David clad was, because David said, yea, though he walk through the shadow, he can see shadow. There's a light somewhere. Now let me say, now we as Christians, there's not a light at the end of the tunnel. We are the light. But turn on the light and buy a bigger watt. Some of us going around with a 40-watt bulb. It's time to elevate the bulb up to at least 100 watts. Because he said, let your light so shine that men and women can see your good work. And then God get the glory.
All right. All right. Well, you definitely helping people elevate their wattage today. And I want to appreciate you for that. Now, I know that you do coach. We're about out of time, but I know that you do coach professionals in public speaking, whether it's for their job or their own personal growth. You do coach professionals in that. I'm going to ask you to do two things real quick. Give some coaching tips that people can incorporate into their lives immediately, like right now. And then also, after you've done that, let them know how they can get a hold of you if they want to dig deeper into these. And again, while honestly, I think you all need to get more of Dr. Jonas from this conference that I'm in with this link down here. But we already had some donations come in. So if you want to bless this wonderful speaker today, go ahead and drop him a bonus at paypal.me, Queen of Cashflow, or Cash App, Queen of Cashflow. Put his name in it. You don't put his name in it, I'm going to think you blessing me, and I'm going to take your blessing, and I'm going to enjoy it. But put his name in there. And then come on back and get you these wonderful 30-something talks that will uplift and encourage you. Dr. Jonas, if you would, close us out with how they can get a hold of you and your best tip that they can put into practice tonight.
Yes, let's allow me quickly to say, JJ, thank you so much for having me. A great congratulations, a great conference that you had, that I was a part of it. I'm very proud of you. It was first class. Keep up the great work. How do you get in contact with me? What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a free gift. I'm going to give you a free gift. Just go to www.jonasbonus.com. www.jonasbonus.com. There you is going and print it down, put your information and print it down. It's going to give you the 7 C's and how to be an effective communicator. It starts with clarity. Know your message, know your subject, know yourself, know your subject, and know your audience, which is really, really critical. So again, that's www.jonasbonus.com. That's JONAS and the word bonus, jonasbonus.com. And if you'd like to get in contact with me, I can be reached on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. Or you can give me a courtesy call for those who are not on social media. You can give me a courtesy call at 585-703-9547. That's 585-703-9547. And again, JJ, appreciate you so much. Keep up the great work. And always, my motto is, since greatness is possible, excellence is not enough. Go for greatness.
Yes. Well, we going for greatness here at Building Wealth Together. Dr. Jonas, I want to thank you for being on today. Let me just grab this last comment that we have here. All right. So we got another one coming in. All right. So we want to go ahead and close us out for today, but I want to thank you again for being here. You have definitely brought the blessing. You brought the elevation. You brought the heat. I don't know what else I can say. Well, you brought it today. Thank you for being with us. And for everybody else who's watching today, as you can see, we're doing a new thing with Building Wealth Together. There's going to be some stumbling and some fumbling as I work out all the kinks, but as we transition into 2022, we're going to look at moving Building Wealth Together from just being a podcast to being a daily show. So we got to work out some kinks so we can stay on time and be on time. But y'all know we gonna get it done, and either way, it's gonna be a blessing. And so you're gonna start to see it's gonna be a ramp up. It's not gonna be every day at first, because I got to get everybody used to it, and I also have a backlog of other podcasts that need to be released, right? So we want to do them honor and justice too. But we're gonna see this transition over the next year, and I believe it's gonna be even more of a blessing to help you move further in your life. I'm JJ Conway, and on behalf of myself and my guest today, Dr. Jonas Gadson, Distinguished Toastmaster, I want to thank you for being a part of the Building Wealth Together family. Y'all take care and be blessed.
All right, goodbye.